In your health news tonight, talking to your children about terrorism. They've probably seen the Paris attacks on TV or even heard about it in school. But how can you explain to them what's going on? Joining us tonight from our Hartford newsroom is child psychologist Dr. Laura Saunders. Thanks for being with us tonight, Dr. Saunders.
Thank you.
The Paris attacks, obviously so heartbreaking to watch that unfold on TV, and it has all of us as adults even worrying about our own safety. But how as an adult do you talk to a child about it? How do you even bring up that discussion?
Well, I think first and foremost, you need to really look at this from a developmental perspective. Especially with young children, what you really want to try to do is shield them from a lot of unnecessary information that may be confusing to them, and they really have no way to control any of that information. Having, the TVs in your kitchen or your common areas, instead of just having them on all the time, try to monitor that information for young children.
How do you shield people in a day and age with social media where it's not just television today? It could be on Facebook, it comes up, or as a post in Twitter. How can a parent monitor everything?
They can't, but I think what you can do is create a dialogue. So if you hear your child bringing up or making a comment or something that they heard on the news, you ask them a question. Do you have any questions, or what did you hear about? And then from there, you really allow their need for information to guide the discussion.
And what do you tell them when they ask point blank, who are the bad guys? Why are they doing this to us?
Well, I think, we use terms like, terrorists, and terrorists do bad things, and we're not really sure why they do bad things. But that you try to give factual information, not information laden with a lot of emotional content, because most often kids are just looking for the most simple explanation.
Well, I know the age and how you talk to your child varies so much. There's a video today from ISIS, from the terrorists, vowing to attack the U.S., in particular in Washington, D.C. If a child was to hear that, that's frightening. Should you expect them to have difficulty sleeping at night? What are some things that you can do to really provide comfort to your child?
Well, I think what you try to do first to provide comfort is provide some assurance. Now, assurance is different than a promise, right? We can't promise our children that nothing bad will happen, but we can assure them that our government officials and our police and our firefighters do their best every day to try to keep us safe, and that we as a family will try to keep you safe as well. So assurance is very different than a promise. We can't provide an unnecessary, we can't add to a lot of unnecessary anxiety.
Should you bring it up to your child, or should you wait for them to address it with you? Because younger kids, obviously, they may just act out. They can't really verbalize what they might have seen on TV.
That's a good point. So parents know their children, and they know when their children are acting in an odd or funny way. With young children, you often see it in play. So when you overhear them and they're mentioning words like bombing and Paris and other things, then you know that they've heard things. So you're addressing it more directly then. But for the most part, you don't need to bring up a lot of information with kids unless they have demonstrated that they have a need for that information or they appear to be worried or anxious.
All right, thank you so much. I know this is on the hearts and minds of a lot of parents out there of how to adjust this with their children, so we really appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us tonight, Dr. Laura Saunders.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Be sure to stick with News 8 and WTNH.com and visit our Facebook and Twitter pages for the very latest on the Paris attacks. You can always find it right there at WTNH.com.